Hey guys, MaxLPQueen here, and welcome back to another dungeon run in TERA. Today we're doing the Thaumetal, I don't know what it's called, I don't know how to say it. The refinery is what I like to call it. We're going through that one today with my Brawler here. And this will probably be one of the last ones that I go through for a while on my Brawler. Because I'm getting to that point where it's getting a little bit difficult for me to tank in these harder dungeons. This is what I don't know what item number it is, but it is a higher level dungeon than the one that I did before. I did the Ravenous Gorge and I did the Shattered Fleet. Now this one is actually a lot higher up, so you have to have higher gear to be able to go into this dungeon. But this is going to be the run through of it. It's got 3 bosses and one area where you will face a little bit of some mobs. I guess that's what you call them. But I don't know. I know kind of the rules for this one, but I'm not too familiar with it, so don't like crucify me and murder me if I don't know every single rule that there is to know. There's plenty of guides and stuff online that you could read through, which is kind of what I did to actually learn the dungeon. Although a lot of people tell me to read guides, and then I really don't want to, because I find that I learn the dungeon better by doing it multiple times. So I don't ever know like the rules of the dungeon unless someone was to tell me the rules of the dungeon. But I generally just go through and I learn as I go, and I'm more focused on the bosses themselves than what pops up on the screen. So yeah, sue me, sorry. Anyway, let's get back to the point at hand here. This is the first boss that you are going to face in this dungeon, and pretty much if you're a tank, because this is going to be a tank POV once again, like my other ones that I did with my Brawler. Mainly focusing on the tank, so if you're wanting DPS or healers, this isn't the video for you because we're focusing on me, the tank. But this is very important here. I'm going to actually go ahead and talk about this right now because I was the one that had the eye on me. You'll see I have that little eye icon on me, and that will be on one random person in the team. And whoever gets that eye over them must go to the tree in the center, okay? Because you want him, the big huge monkey dude here, whatever, you want him to hit his head on the tree and stun him, because if not, he's going to attack you, because he's going to run for the person with the eye, and he's going to probably one-shot you, or if your healer is really good, he won't one-shot you, but he'll hurt you pretty bad, if not your whole entire team. So basically you want to get to the tree whenever you have that eye over you. Also, some people in the team, I don't know if I ever had one or not, but the tree will spawn back again, so you will have the tree there. And what I've heard from other people is, you can see over there, that person there has bananas over their head. So whenever there's a banana over your head, you want to put that banana underneath the tree. Not sure why. Someone just told me that you want to put the banana under the tree if you have a banana over your head. I'm guessing so that if he does run over towards that way, then he will slip on the banana peel, and you don't want to slip on it because it does stun you and make you fall, which means you can take more damage from that as well. So that's pretty much it for the first boss. That's all that you need to know. You want to make sure that he hits that tree there. As you can see, he focused one person, wasn't me, who had the eye on them, and they took him straight to the tree, knocked him into it, and he was stunned. So that's definitely what you want to do. I'm glad I had a team that knew what they were doing, because I have had some people that have went through this dungeon before and they did not know what to do. And I'm gonna admit, I was one of those people too, okay? When I had a banana on my head before, when I played through this dungeon the first couple times, I didn't know what to do with it, and I would just set it away from everybody. And somebody was like, hey, please put them under the tree. I was like, okay, you want me to put the bananas under the tree? I'll put them under the tree, fine. And the eye thing, I think I had that as well on me, and I ran to the very outside of the area, and it didn't go in the center, and they were like, no, get in the center, what are you doing? So yeah, that too. But that's the first boss down, got him going. Now to head on to the second boss in this area, and I decided to go ahead and leave the cutscenes, what am I talking about? I decided to leave the I'm still saying it. Why can I not say that? I decided to leave the cutscenes on in this dungeon. I don't know why. I hadn't actually watched through them all before, so I decided to leave them on so I could see them. Also, I have used my Noctinium, my Bravery Potion, my Feast, as well as my Prime Solution, and the healer has given me the buffs as well. So I used everything that I possibly could to do the most damage in this dungeon. That's how unconfident I was going in as a tank. But this is the second boss here in this dungeon. Now this one here I'm not too familiar with, okay? So don't get this mistaken that I'm going to give you everything that I know and it's going to be correct. But everybody gets an orb looking thing around them. You can see I have a red one around me, and some other people on my team have a blue one. And what those do is they are going to place you'll see it here shortly, they're going to place some crystals on the ground. There it is right there. I think you can avoid it so that those don't happen, but since I was tanking I didn't really pay any attention, so I just went ahead and let that fall on the ground there. But basically there's a laser that comes out of the center area there. You can see it now. And it's going to turn a color, blue or red, depending on what color it is if you get hurt by that. So since it is blue, if it touches me, it's not going to hurt me. But if it changes to red, then it would hurt me, or stun me, anything like that. And those crystals actually change the color of the laser. So that's why you don't want them out necessarily, because if you had like 3 or 4, then you would get hit with probably 3 or 4 different color changes, so it'd be harder to avoid, and you'd be more than likely to get stunned by the laser. So that's definitely something that you want to watch out for as well. See here, we've got 3 crystals this time, so that means that the boss is going to the laser is going to change 3 times, and so my main strategy here was to try to get him away from all those crystals. That's why you could see I was trying to pull him over to the other side over there, because you can see it's changing really rapidly because it hit all 3 of those crystals, and once it hits it, it changes super quick. So me being red ring around me, red little circle, I definitely almost died there because it changed so many times, and I was trying to get him over away from them so it would be a little bit easier for everyone to avoid them. But managed to keep it intact. It didn't die, thankfully. But it was super close there. You saw it. It was super close. Lucky for us, we have a really good healer as well. That does help out a bit. Not just my tanking skill, but yeah, we had a really good healer as well. That helped out a bunch. Alright, so I think I about got it by like the 3rd time. I noticed that when he got down like that and he got ready to release that power, I decided to do some evasion with my quick evasion skill and see if that would help with him not putting down the crystals. I think it did. Don't know for sure if it did or not, but I think it did. And I think as you get him down to a certain percentage, he gets out 2 lasers instead of 1. So definitely make sure that you watch out for that, because as you can see, they can change colors pretty quickly. So we're at 2, and I think hard mode actually does a lot more than 2, so that's pretty scary. But for me, I'll stick with the normal mode. Works just fine for me. And that is going to do it for the second boss here. I don't think I mentioned though what you can get in this dungeon. You can get the regular talents and materials that you need for enchanting. It's also a Vanguard quest as well. You can get some Vanguard request tokens for it. I had the quest for it at this point, so I went ahead and did everything that the quest asked me to do. But after that, we're going to ride in a little trolley here, a little minecart, down to this other area. Before we make it to the final boss, we're going to be going and taking on those mobs that I was talking about, or the whatever they're called. I call them mobs, but the many different not bosses, basically, is what I'm trying to say. They're just other characters, not bosses. that we're gonna have to take out before we can take on the final boss here. So we were actually going ahead and waiting for everyone to get down here, and then we'll go ahead and continue on. But it's not too difficult once you know the basic mechanics of the dungeon. It can actually be pretty simple. I think I've been through this one probably about 3 or 4 times. I think only once or twice on my brawler, but on my DPS classes I've been through this dungeon plenty of times, and I haven't really had much trouble with it. I know sometimes people have trouble with the last boss, but once you know how to handle the last one, it's really not that difficult to get through. So what I did here for the last area is I gathered up all the little mobby things and got in front of it so I can avoid most of their attacks and have them all focused on me, so they wouldn't be focused on the rest of the DPS classes in the dungeon, the ones that are with me in my party. But that's pretty much it. It's simple. You just go through, you kill them all, and then you can move on. Alright, we got the last one down. Now it's time to head for the final boss. The final round of the evening, basically. And this will be the last thing that we will have to do. But there is a little cutscene here that I wanted to go ahead and leave in as well. I also wanted to go ahead and see if I needed to refresh anything as far as like solutions went, friendly feast went. I had 5 minutes I think on my bravery potions and stuff, so I thought I would leave those in. They weren't that big of a deal. I expected us not to be going on too long in this final boss. And there he is. There is the final boss that we will be taking on. I'm actually really happy that my team decided to wait on me to watch that cutscene, because I wasn't sure if they would. I thought they would just go ahead and go in and start the dungeon without me, because most people tend to skip that. So this dungeon here, or this boss here, is actually the last one. Like I've said, pretty straightforward. He's gonna have his main red AoEs that he's gonna do. Now this one here is really important, so when you get that red ring around you, he's gonna draw everyone in to the center with him, and you want to run out and put all those little orbs that you see on the side there, you want to put those on the edge. Everybody runs to the edge, I think except for the healer, because you can see back there behind him walking towards that area there is one of the little goblin guys, and I don't think you want them to get in those circles. I'm not too sure. Like I said, I'm not sure on all the rules of how this dungeon works, but I do know that you have to avoid the big red attacks, and they do switch. So whenever the temperature rises or lowers will depend on if you need to avoid those or not. So I think, I'm not for sure, but I know in the beginning you avoid everything. Okay, so all of the big red AoE things that you're seeing on the ground, like this right here, and everything else, you avoid it. This one actually you keep avoiding though. I'm talking about those ones that they show like the little dotted lines on the ground and stuff, and then it pops out. Those you want to avoid in the beginning, but they're going to change whenever the temperature lowers or rises. That right there. So if they say the temperature lowers or rises, depending on what comes onto the screen, will be whether you avoid those or you go the opposite direction of what they say. So he has another red ring here. He's brought us all in. It was around us. So a couple of people didn't really do what they were supposed to and didn't go to the edge. So I decided to move the boss away from that area, try to get him away so that people couldn't be taking lots of damage. As you can see there, now you're going to do the opposite of what the circle says, so, or the line there. So usually you would avoid it. This time, now we're going to be in it so that we don't get hit, except for the circle. The circle, you want to go opposite lines. Basically, you want to try to go opposite no matter what the temperature might be. So you want to watch out for the temperature. And as you can see, he's got a lot of different little purple things on the ground. So I'm trying to move him away because I don't want the DPS classes to be in that. So I'm trying to get him to move away from it so that we can attack him a little bit better. They can attack him better from behind. Because since they placed them on the ground right there, they're kind of like in a little area where they can't really reach him. So it's best to try to give them some more space behind so that they're able to do that. Alright, so we are continuing on here. What are we at? 29%, I think? I'm not too sure. I'm doing this all post-production, post-recording. I've already went through the dungeon, basically. So I can't really see too well on the screen, like you guys are going to see with all the words and stuff. But he looks like he's about 24% now, so we should be getting down to the wire here, and that's pretty much all there is to know about him. You want to avoid the attacks whenever you see them on the ground, but then if the temperature is a certain degree or whatever, I never really understood that. I just kind of always, when I was a TPS class, I got it for some reason. So like it'll say the temperature is rising, and then I think you do the opposite. But if the temperature is lowered, then you do what it says. I'm not too sure on that one, but obviously you want to look out for those lines there. If you stay in them, like here, if I stay in it and I get hurt, then I'll know the next time he does it to avoid it. But then if I see this little thing on the screen that says something about the temperature, then I stay in it because last time I avoided it. So it's basically like opposite thing. So you want to do the opposite each time that you see that on the screen. It can kind of help you out a bit there. I know it's really confusing, and I'm probably making it even more confusing by talking about it so much, but those are the basic mechanics for it. If you want to look up a guide for it, you can definitely do that and read through a guide as well, if that helps you out a lot better. For me, it helps me to just run through and do the dungeon myself. So that's definitely something that helps me better. But that's going to do it for this dungeon. Just wanted to get a quick other dungeon run through done. But that is the Thaumetal Refinery, and I guess that's going to be it. So I will see you guys whenever else we're doing the next one or anything else. Basically, we're done here. I'll see you guys in the next one.